What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with more boxing. So it looks like boxing superstar, Puerto Rican legend Miguel Cotto is in talks with Freddie Roach. They're possibly forming an alliance or relationship. And Freddie Roach may train Miguel Cotto for his next fight. There's also a rumor circulating that Canelo Alvarez will be that fight for September. Um, Cotto, after his last fight, his loss with Trout, he said he was going to take some time off, vacation with the family, spend time with his family, and he looks to get back third or fourth quarter of this year. So September is right around that date. Um, my opinion, I mean, it's Cotto's career, so he can do whatever he wants and finish it how he wants. I have nothing against Freddie Roach. I don't necessarily think that's the best stylistic look for an aging Cotto. I think Pedro Diaz is a better fit for Cotto. That's my personal opinion. Again, I have nothing against Freddie Roach. He's done great work with some of his fighters, but I just don't see stylistically it being the best matchup for Cotto. Um, and that's mostly because Freddie Roach is older. Um, his sickness, I think that does play a part, but I mean, you can't discriminate for that or take away from what he's done. But more or less, he doesn't really teach his fighters defense. And if anything, that's something later in Cotto's career, being in wars he's been in, like with Zab Judas and the Josh Clottys and Pacquiao or Margarito 1 and 2, um, that'd be something to sharpen up on or to improve. And I really don't think Freddie Roach will teach him that. I think personally, Pedro Diaz is going to be a better fit. They also have the language denominator or common denominator. They both speak Spanish, and I like Pedro's work with him in the Floyd Mayweather fight. I thought he looked really sharp. He looked ready to go, and I like Pedro's work with Yadmo Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux looked excellent in that fight, and I watched a lot of media day and like behind the scenes with Rigondeaux, and he's an Olympic coach, I believe, that worked with Rigondeaux previously. So Pedro Diaz, he's been around the sport, and I like the work he does. So me personally, I think you might as well stick with that. It's weird how fighters lose a fight and then all of a sudden there's talks to get another trainer. Like Amir Khan got beat by Danny Garcia and then he bails out on Freddie Roach. Like, oh shit, I need a new trainer. Or, I mean, it happens all the time. Andre Berto split ties when he lost to Guerrero. I don't think I mean, obviously your team and your coach plays a part. I'm not saying that, but just because you lose, sometimes these fighters are losing because of things they're not doing, adjustments they're not making in the ring, um, rather than what their coach is telling them. They're not even listening to their coach half the time, and we've seen that tons of time. I think in the Timothy Bradley, that's a perfect example. Ruslan Provodnikov versus Bradley. Bradley was not listening to his corner at all. He had this chip on his shoulder. He was really doing whatever the fuck he wanted. You could tell Diaz was really pissed with Bradley. I'm sure in the end, now that they won, um, it's lessened the effect. But if he would have lost, I think he would have really been disappointed with Bradley for really doing whatever he wanted and taking unnecessary gambles and risks. Um, it was definitely entertaining for the fans' sake, but there's a difference between entertainment and getting hurt and looking bad and all kinds of stuff like that. So again, it's Cotto's career. He could do whatever he wants. I don't know what Freddie Roach is necessarily going to be able to do with them. I'm a long time Cotto fan. Nothing but respect for the dude. He's been in there with everybody. The Mayweathers, the Judas, Margarito twice in Margarito's prime. Um, Clottey. He's been in there with everyone. Randall Bailey's, Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, this dude can fight. As he gets older, I think his style and his dedication has been on the decline. I don't think Cotto's heart is in boxing anymore. Like if you watch the Cotto when he had a little bit of hair, when he had some hair, like the little curls, that was like very sharp Cotto. He looked like boxing was his life. That was his world. But as I see Cotto just in interviews, I just don't get the feeling that he's really in it. I think he just wants to be a family man. His father passed, his papa passed, and I think that really had a effect on him. and it made him realize some things. Maybe like, oh, life is short, and he wants to spend time with his family. He's already talking about retirement. I've heard him say it probably a couple fights ago, like that he's planning on retiring, and he wants to spend time with his family. Like, oh, I miss my kids and stuff like that. So I honestly don't think his heart's in it. And going against someone like Canelo, who's on the upside of his career, young, strong, building momentum, building confidence, just won and beat Austin Trout. That's not a good look for Cotto to, in my opinion, to fight someone like that. Does Cotto have a shot? Yeah, it's boxing. He is the veteran, so he has a shot. But I would put my money on Canelo over Cotto at this point in Canelo's career or Cotto's career. And the other thing is, Cotto has never looked exceptional to me at 154. And he looked good against Floyd Mayweather, but there's other fights where he didn't look that great at 154. And to my knowledge, Cotto he's not a workhorse. He's not like a gym rat. Like I heard he doesn't like running. He doesn't like doing cardio. I'm not going to call the man lazy, because anyone who laces him up and has been in the sport as long as he's been in, obviously they can't be lazy per se, but I don't think he has the same work ethic as like a Timothy Bradley or Pacquiao or Mayweather, or somebody who's like really dedicated and always comes in fit. Like, I've seen Pacquiao running like miles, and like it looks like he's getting some good cardio work, and that kind of thing. But I heard from the sources I've heard, they said Cotto doesn't really like that. That's more or less why he moved up in weight, is because it was harder to make weight, because he's not really dedicated to some of the necessities of like diet, eating like very clean, and doing cardio. So that's just my take on it. So that's the latest. Cotto, he may join forces with Freddie Roach. Let me know what you guys think of that. Who's the best trainer out there for Cotto at this point in his career? Do you see him pulling an upset and stopping the young, hungry Canelo? Do you see Canelo running through him? Let me know. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.